Okay. I think we're live. I think we're active. Hopefully it should connect properly. Wait a couple of minutes for everything to fall into place. And OBS is going to shit a ton of frames. That's standard. There we go. Decent connection. We are excellent. We are live. Time to go back home. I can just ignore an entire area if I so wish. Oh, so my headphones are loud for this game. Okay. Nice out until... I don't think it's overcast. Another round of war games as she disappears into the aether. I mean, what did you do with my wife? Yeah, what's the point? Well, there goes Buck. Goodbye. As usual. Never put your glove on in the right time, do you?
Mankind discovers pants. Oh, very.
No, not pants. A glove. Been ever since he knew. And we were introduced. Mass Effect game, yeah, we're going through with Mass Effect. GAM-E. Let's take a look at you. This is actually a very smart way of doing a computer as a person. Has adopted a sweetie tone. Lady, I'm a damn flower. Has your mother been feeding you properly? No, Grandma. Maybe I'm tall and lanky for good reasons. Let me know if you need anything else, dear. Well, that's most unfortunate. Time to get the fuck out of here. Slime-tastic. This is good. You were a naughty boy. Uh-huh. Don't have time for little old ladies. That's just not fair, I'm afraid. You have to be spoiled by your grandmother. She's only liquefied treats. I think someone else has something to say about this. No, Buck. It's just you. I broke it because I'm not an idiot. Like your Uncle Lars. Lars is a slime. It's like literally just collects dust. Like, did you meet him at the start of the game? He just lies on the floor. I guess you can follow me. I'm surprised she can see us from that position on the wall. You, Jimmy? Yes, because I'm following my brother. My brother's kind of a weirdo. They're allowed to use lethal force, and they are quite lethal. Iron Flamingo. Oh, there you go, there's Buck's Pod. Iron Flamingo is actually a very good soundtrack. I've listened to a... There they are. Get the fuck out of here. Alarm sounds the alarm and runs away, and then you see this thing. The Murderbot 5000, which I can't do anything about at the moment, so legging it is the best option. You can't kill it before it summons this enemy either, because... well, you're too low a level for it. I guess today's kind of been a mixed bag. Okay, I request security clearance. Okay. How about Andrew? What's that? The bees? Remember I told you about bees? Pesticides? Okay, your dad's lost it. So, I think it should probably be noted, Lars and Helga are related. They are brother and sister. Inside my computer, that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, but there's no budget in them. There's two of them this time. Okay, let's go access the other terminals. At this point, it's basically just persuading Gammy to open the doors. And I'm certain this would mess with certain RPG players, but I'm accustomed to evolving techniques. Maybe. Knowing to escape from Murder Deathbot 5000. Usually a good sign. Final Fantasy VIII taught us that. Or shoplifting bubblegum. Fucking hell, where is she from? Lady, I'm a slime. I'm gross and unappealing. I was found made of funk. Since, well, I suppose there's wasn't much conversation. Is that what you want? Maybe. Game's also very, very smart. You shouldn't lie to me either. I think at this point all you have to do is kind of like check all the monitors and then send it so I can actually get request clearance for room 1. Why do you keep visiting me? I shouldn't reprogram myself, that would be crazy. Alright, let's go request security clearance again. Literally, there's nothing else I can do now. Hit a button when I sneezed. Robots can sneeze. But we've got Insert currency, make a selection. Give me the XL cola. Wait, wasn't I already at full health? Yes, I was. I just spent $10 like an idiot. Actually, now... Did I just get angry and punch stuff? Yes. Let's try something else. Thought just occurred. Being a low-level goon must happen. Let's say you didn't escape. Thanks so much for staying with me, Jimmy. Can I open the door? Face facts. Okay, need to go and get clearance from somewhere else. Grift. Well, not this time because there's two of them, but you can still steal the voice boxes off of these robots. Arm length. Being accurate. Last time he was at the house must have been Hans' birthday. One before he got ill. Do I make up because eyeshadow was everywhere and her lips. We climbed onto the bathroom sink. Family has a little bit of a problem, Jimmy. You again, Lars. Wait, did you just call me Lars? So let's try, see if I'm quick enough to snatch his voice box. This part of the soundtrack is called Toaster with Teeth. Okay, so I can kill some things, but I have to be in goon form. If it's one on its own, I can just steal its voice box. And stealing, of course, is judged by luck, so make sure you got plenty of luck. And those killbots, they do almost maximum damage at this point to me. So, don't even try and fight them. Alright, let's go request security clearance again. Would be the most smart thing to do, wouldn't it? Level 1 security clearance. Green zones. Hello! Deagle, how's it going? Enhanced past. Oh, okay, let's remove that one. Sorry for the unstable connection, it just happens around here. Look, this is a step back in time technologically. I'm doing things. Everything on spit and tape. Human type goon. Never mind then. So I need to go find my way elsewhere. Let's see. I remember which door I need to go in. Here we go. This crackle pop of static, he's become a Rice Krispie. Hey, this guy again. Stop, stop. Why does everyone do this to me? Stupid and buttface. Well, you gooned it up. I'm sorry. You chose the gooning life. I'm not going to try that. Yet. Ah. Big mess of wires. What happens when you pull them out? Not Super Deathbot 4000. Frazzled. Ow. What do I even have in my inventory? I have a few things. Super Deathbot 4000 looks tired. Steel, let's bully him then. Completely bully him. As long as electricity hurts. Ah, frazzled. Works a wonder. I don't feel sorry for this poor robot. It's just been woken up, and now it's being annoyed by two kids. And one of them's pulled its wires out. Been so long on this fight, it's actually looped the the track. You have looped on the toaster with teeth. Fuck is that number 9? Thank you for taking Larson. He's a delicate child. Now this is something for later. Keep this in mind. For anyone that's not seen this game before. Good, kind, handsome boy. I think that's everything I can do with level 1 clearance, so I now need to go get level 2 clearance. Wait, how did you get faster than me, Buck? Actually, no, that doesn't make... no, that's probably true. He's the sporty brother. Marvellous coin found. The hell is that? Oh, worth approximately $0. Hmm. Or do I have to go through the wall? Okay, I need to go through the pipe then. Pity like no one else has steel at the moment, otherwise I would be able to take both of them and remove them. Dunk. This is all viewport. Would you like to peer through it? Hmm. What was that? Ow. Oh, Jimmy. Bark. Surprise attack. What a punch to knock thing to do. Ready for subdue a child. Sit and play dead until your next command. He even speaks like a dog. Listen, Jimmy. Doesn't matter how you skipped your part, I was going to suspend you in jail and devour you in the future. Now I'm going to have to accelerate that plan. Bark. That's your family. I'm stronger than you, faster than you, hungrier than you. Sink my teeth into your brain and then I'm going to gobble it up. Bark. His precious head. Found. Prime directive is stupid. Help grandson escape. Okay, all safe, but we're in flight. Just couldn't specify their drop points. Find them. Find me, okay? What do you want me to say? You're sick? You're tired? Me too. Deal with it. Get up. Thanks, Buck. Here we go. Find everyone and get back home. Queen has returned. First new royal composition. Like, I know one of my regular viewers and friend, Miss Mishty Mish, is not going to be happy that I have to punch a dog. Right. Let's begin. Hand wraps. Take 2 tuxedos. Crush is actually good, let's take hold of that. And then I need to get the stuffed hippo in the outer blocks. It would be actually reasonably useful. Kind of loud here, honestly. Yeah, I can see that. Like, he goes from boxing glove to hand wraps. He literally goes from, this won't hurt me, to this will hurt me. Stayed crush would be more useful for you. Right, Timothy. Legato. The Queen changed. Instead of this musical laughter, the castle hall was filled with chilly silence. Knights of Legato trapped her inside of a mirror. What a neat story. It's like a fairy tale. Hello, Mr. Cello. No point going up there. Yep. Can't do anything in there yet. Don't have an ass powerful enough. Go Mr. Marvelous's house. But since you're here, in my marvelous mansion, I'm Froggy. And here because I'm off on my marvelous adventures, hence the top hat. So I'm successful. Can't go upstairs yet though. He is blocking my way with his fabulous top hat. Can't leave Legato yet either. Right, what do I have in the bank at the moment? Do I have money? Very livelihood. Becoming a man worthy of that trust is my adventure, Jimmy. Let's deposit everything I have for the minute. Come back later for all the parts of the kitty set, which will be thoroughly investigating every enemy in the area. Visitors. I've come to take the Queen. Well, guess what? The Gato Knights have returned. Each and every one of them. You better run, just in case. Sound the alarm. Gato has some of the best music. Also, yeah, they're sounding the alarm quite a lot. Look at this guy down here. Pinky's out, gentlemen. This is a classy affair. Oh, if I rob them blind, they, Oop, there you go. But grifting in this game is so powerful. So powerful. Toot soldier. All the recorders in place. Guarding quite a lot. Oh. Oh, there's an information guy in there. Claws. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what to say about the whistling kettle. This kettle is now out of steam. It's out of a platform that I'm playing this through. My internet's turned to shit again. Just bear with me. Suppose maybe because this the internet in this house is not upkept incredibly well. As I have learned recently. Good. Done. I'm getting a lot of luck, which will be useful for later, I suppose. Release that wild beast into the kitchen. Damn, a double one. A double attempt to stop me from doing anything. Oh yeah, that's a big one, Crush. No drag. Oh. Fresh. Nothing to steal. Red-billed squawker. Startled. Ow. Let's go flower. Big smile. Red-billed squawker looks tired. Easy critical hits. Instant critical. It's like a Cheeto coming down to earth. God. I don't know what it's about to do. Can't nerd bash it much. Oh, it's not getting tired from me hitting it. That is not good. No, Timmy's now unconscious, and if it goes on a rampage, I'm dead.